This new for $99 update video is being made available to help you understand the engineering changes that have taken place over the preceding year. This is a two-part video series. Each part consists of a 30-minute videotape. The Series 8 carburetor used on many LEV and OVRM series engines has a new extension tube added to the atmospheric vent passage. This tube, part number 632766, was added to stabilize the atmospheric pressure in the bowl, improving the run quality. This was done in combination with carburetor calibration changes. This tube is serviceable and must be installed to a precise depth using tool part number 670343 to maintain emission standards and prevent blockage of the atmospheric vent passage. Do not use this tube on applications that it was not originally on. Always verify that the engine requires this tube by checking the parts list. Cold Start Hang Tag. Tecumseh has gone through extensive efforts to educate the customer in the proper procedures used to prime today's emissions engines. If a customer comments about an engine that is hard to start, it may be helpful to ask them to demonstrate the method they use when priming. In most cases, there is not any engine problem, and we have found improper priming is the cause. Most recently, we have created a hang tag with instructions on the thumbs up 5 prime technique. This cold start procedure is outlined in the owner's manuals and is illustrated by the use of a decal on the blower housing or fuel tank on some engines. It requires that the thumb be used to prime because the thumb's larger surface area covers the primer bulb better. Remember always to wait 2 seconds between primes. How the new emissions primer works. The primer used on emission-grade carburetors has been designed to provide the precise amount of fuel being delivered with each compression. This style of primer must squarely make contact with the inside casting surface of the carburetor before any prime occurs. This will prevent air from being forced back into the air filter and send the prime charge into the carburetor. A brief delay of 2 seconds between each prime will assure that the primer has recovered ample air to provide an adequate prime charge. LEV, VLV valve stem seal change. A design change has been made to the intake valve stem seal used on LEV and VLV engines. The seal area, which makes contact with the casting surface in the valve box, has been enlarged to improve sealing. A better seal on the valve stem will allow the elimination of an O-ring that had been used on engines prior to this. We have also reissued Service Bulletin 406, which references kit number 730617 to include the new seal. Removal of the intake valve may cause damage to the seal. Always install a new seal when this type of repair work is done. VLV air baffle change. The fiber baffle gasket used between the carburetor and cylinder block on the VLV engine has been changed to a metal baffle. A gasket is used on each side of the metal baffle, which replaces the fiber gasket. An instruction sheet is included for installation. This baffle allows for cooler running carburetor bowl temperatures, eliminating the occasional carburetor popping during high ambient temperature operation. We also created a bendable high-speed adjustment tab as part of the baffle for fixed-speed applications. Speed adjustments, if necessary, are done by bending the tab to the right to increase speed and to the left to decrease speed. Series 11 carburetor. This is possibly the most innovative and exciting primer-type carburetor to be introduced since emission standards were established. The Series 11 carburetor is being released in limited quantities this year. Its design helps to eliminate the cold-blooded nature of emissions engines by drawing fuel from a reservoir during the first minute of operation, giving it smoother startup and warm-up characteristics. This will give the engines using this carburetor the personality of one built prior to the emission standards. The external physical package is identical to that of a Series 8 carburetor. Removing the bowl will expose the Welch plug used to cover the extended prime fuel chamber. There is also an additional passageway alongside the center leg which feeds the fuel into this chamber when the carburetor is primed. During startup operation, the fuel is drawn from this chamber into the venturi until the chamber is empty, at which time normal operation is resumed. When cleaning an emissions carburetor, remember the passages are extremely small. The best method for cleaning this carburetor is to remove all Welch plugs and use carburetor cleaner and compressed air to clean the passages. It is not recommended to soak the carburetor in carburetor cleaner. VLV no bottom drain flange. The VLV engine now has an option available to OEMs with no oil drain on the bottom of the mounting flange. This will be available for applications such as generators, pumps, and pressure washers. In place of the bottom drain, there is an optional side drain. If an OEM would choose to use this flange on a rotary lawnmower application, removing the oil may be accomplished by draining the oil out of the fill tube. This flange has been available since July 1998. Climate Guard for HM engines is available on original equipment and will be used exclusively on Generac product for $19.99. However, there is now a kit available for existing engines. If you have emissions or non-emissions engines that are used during both summer and winter seasons, you can now convert it to the Climate Guard system by using part number 730630. Typical applications that could use this system are log splitters and generators. LEV80 new offering. The LEV80 is a new 3.5 horsepower engine being offered this year. It has been designed using the technology developed in the LEV engine with the straight valve train used in the TVS engines. This engine has the same cylinder fin design and flow-through valve cooling system that allows the LEV to run at reduced cylinder block temperatures. It's being used on opening price point units and puts an offering in the marketplace that has the quality and durability of the higher price units. Toro fuel tank baffle. The OHSK 120 used on Toro snow throwers has a foam baffle added to the fuel tank. This will prevent splashing and inconsistent fuel flow when there is less than an inch of fuel inside the tank. The foam baffle stabilizes the fuel supply to prevent the occasional fuel starvation situation. The material is similar to that used in race car fuel cells and is impervious to all of today's fuels within our standard fuel guidelines. The part number for the complete tank assembly is 37290. OHH 7-amp DC charging system. This series of engines has quickly become one of the most popular engines in the industry. It is now poised to expand into markets that require a higher output charging system. A 7-amp DC charging system is now available on OHH OHSK 50 to 70 model engines. This reliable compact power plant can now be applied to those applications that require higher battery starting capabilities. The alternator part number is 611233. Upgrading existing equipment will require that the flywheel be changed to accommodate the alternator, which uses internal magnets. "220-volt starters. There is now a 220-volt 50-hertz starter available for countries outside the U.S. and Canada. These starters, part number 37102, H30 to 35, HS40 to 50, HSSK 40 to 50, OHSK 50 to 70, and 37217 for HM70 to 100, HMSK 70 to 100, OHSK 80 to 120, have only a limited number of parts that are serviceable due to European Community regulation. None of the internal parts can be serviced. Only the parts from the engagement nut to the cap are serviceable externally. The starter does not include a power cord because of the multiple options used in different countries. Dipstick counter bore OHH. On many applications, the OHH engine uses a dipstick gauge that threads directly into the cylinder cover. Checking the oil has been a challenge at times because of difficulty reinstalling the oil gauge without cross-threading. This situation has been corrected by machining a counter bore in the oil gauge hole and adding a 45-degree chamfer to the lead-in thread, making reinstallation easier. Remember to instruct the customer to clean the area around the dipstick prior to removal. One connecting rod for all. In our continuing effort to reduce the inventory required to service our engines, a change has occurred to the small frame connecting rod. When you order connecting rod part number 32875A, you will receive an instruction sheet explaining which oil dipper, if any, is used. An example is the H30 to HS50, which uses dipper number 32654. The same connecting rod is used on small frame overhead valve engines, but uses the longer 36611 dipper. Please follow the instruction sheet carefully. Remember, always assemble the rod and cap with the match marks facing out. OHSK New Horsepower. We are very pleased to expand our overhead valve engine line with 3 new models based on the HM Series engine. There are 3 horsepower offerings being used in this season's snow product. They are OHSK 80, 90, and 100. New repower packages. With the change to emission product, several models of engine have been obsoleted. We have worked with our applications group to develop replacements for several applications. The following kits are available from your engine source. Troy-built Pony, part number 205128 OHH50, with features including 3/4-inch crankshaft, extended cab, mounting instructions, and reverse belt. Troy-built Pony, part number 205130 OHH50, with features including 3/4-inch crankshaft, extended cam, mounting instructions, reverse belt, and electric start and harness. Troy-built Horse, part number 208106 HM80, with features including 3/4-inch crankshaft and special rear tine tiller dipstick. Aaron's Rocket Tiller, part number 208120 HM80, with features 1-inch crankshaft, extended cam, special rear tine tiller dipstick, and mounting template. 2-cycle products. Flymo replacements available. There are now service replacement engines available for the Flymo hover mower application. They are available in all states with the exception of California. These engines are able to meet the EPA emission standards for handheld equipment through use of a fixed jet carburetor and cylinder port timing changes. The engines will be available in early 1999 under service part numbers 800175 and 800176. Please consult your parts lookup system or the service engine specification book to locate the correct one. Emissionized AV520-600. The AV series engines used on post hole diggers and ice augers have been changed in several areas to meet the EPA emissions regulations for handheld product. These improvements include changes to cylinder port timing and the carburetor being made customer tamper-proof. The carburetor changes involve fixed jets in both the idle and high-speed circuits. The idle restrictor jet can be removed for service, but the idle restrictor cap, 640053, must be reinstalled to maintain compliance. All fixed jets that screw in seal against the taper. It is critical that you do not over-tighten the jet when reinstalling, or damage to the metering hole will occur. Tighten to 5 to 8 inch-pounds, 0.5 to 1.0 Newton meters. Peerless products. MST leaking axle seals. Last year, we advised you of the running change made to the axle seals used on all MST series transaxles to improve sealing. We still hear about the occasional seal leakage on some MSTs. Our evaluations have found that when the unit was serviced and then reassembled, the old seals were reused with sealant placed around the perimeter of the seal. This sealant will get into the seal spring, harden, and cause it to not function properly and leak. Always replace the seals if the transmission is serviced, and do not use sealant in the seal pockets. When reassembly is complete, we recommend a low-pressure leak-down testing of the unit. The test pressure must not exceed 15 psi, 1 bar, or seal damage will occur. We have developed a test kit, part number 670345, as an add-on for an existing leak-down tester, or our complete kit, 670340. Both are available from your normal supplier. New MST service video 696250. We have released the latest video in our series to help technicians understand the new MST transaxles. This video covers complete disassembly and reassembly, with tips such as not blocking the oil galley to the axles and proper assembly of both A and B inputs. This video and others, available at $15 each U.S. price, are a great way to increase your knowledge or to help a new technician you may have recently hired. Other videos available are Ignition Systems 695059, 800 Series Transaxle 695285, Carburetor Troubleshooting 695015, 900 Series Transaxle 695148, Electrical Systems 695185. 820 Series Sealant. The 820 Series Transaxle has been changed from Loctite 515 gasket eliminator to Loctite Ultra Gray RTV silicone, Tecumseh part number 788093A. This change improves the perimeter seal, reducing the chance of water entering the case during cleaning by the operator. When service is needed on older models, please reseal the case using the Loctite Ultra Gray RTV, which is resistant to oil and grease. New VST Series Puller. The directional control arm on the VST 205 Hydrostatic Series Transaxle is attached using a tapered shaft or a taper and key combination and then secured with a nut and lock washer. Should this arm need to be removed, a puller is required. Removal without using a puller can severely damage the internal parts of the transaxle, which is not repairable, causing replacement of the entire assembly. We have developed a special puller, Tecumseh part number 670342, to remove this arm. When the control arm is reinstalled on the unit, it must be tightened in the neutral position. The nut is torqued to 25 to 30 foot-pounds, 33.9 to 40.7 Newton-meters. Should you still have questions, consult the 691218 Motion Drives Technician's Handbook. (1310) Series Axles 1 1/8. At the request of the Toro Company, we have increased the axle diameter of their 1310 series unit to 1 1/8 inches. This diameter change increases the durability of this model for their application. Service replacements for this model have been upgraded to this new axle diameter as well. New External Snubber Force Adjustment Bulletin 308. We have issued Service Bulletin 308 to review a change made to the C versions of the VST series transaxle, for example, VST 205-024C. This bulletin outlines the adjustment of the shift force required to move the control lever. Never automatically assume the hydro is the problem. Our evaluations of several units returned found no defect at all. In these situations, we found a slipping belt, extremely glazed, from low tension to be the problem. The bulletin outlines first cleaning the unit, then the procedure for removing an access plug and adjusting the snubber screw which controls the shifting forces. You should never need to turn the screw more than one turn. If you turn beyond this limit, the screw could come out of the case. This screw cannot be reinstalled in the field and will require complete unit replacement. Please use extreme caution if performing this procedure and follow the bulletin exactly. Service tips. LEV wider valve seats. The valve seats on LEV engines, except the LEV-80, are being widened to help increase valve and seat durability. The width is being nearly doubled from .040, 1 millimeter, to .078 inches, 2 millimeters. This can be done on the LEV engine because of the unique design of the valve seats and cylinder block. This design helps remove heat from the valve seat area by distributing it into the cylinder block and then dissipating it in its flow-through design. This is also being done in conjunction with the use of heavier valve springs. The combination of the two may also help eliminate the light to no load popping that sometimes occurs when engines are running at low speeds. Climate Guard OHH. Although it was introduced last year, it now has a title, Climate Guard, the official name for the air filter system used on emissions engines that are run in both warm and cold weather environments. This system has a baffle that, when placed in the winter position, blocks cold air from the blower housing. Warmer air is then drawn through the air filter backing plate. This warmer air prevents the possible icing of the breather tube inlet to the carburetor. The icing is caused by crankcase vapor condensation from the breather system required on emissions engines. When placed in the summer position, it allows the cooling air from the blower housing to function normally, maximizing air filter life through our clean air system. Emissions integrity. Just a reminder to you and your customer that it is required to maintain EPA and CARB compliance to use as-built factory original or approved parts. This means parts used in fuel metering systems, air induction systems, ignition systems, and crankcase breather systems must be genuine original Tecumseh factory parts or their equivalent. Ask your distributor about the Real Ones Parts program to prevent any possibility of violating compliance regulations by using less than OEM quality aftermarket parts. Fuel cap tether. The fuel cap tether has made a comeback in recent years, especially on recreational vehicles. This cap tether may come in handy for the customer that has lost their fuel cap while mowing or forgot to put it on. The part number is 35480 and can be retrofitted to most newer style fuel caps with the standard 1.75-inch 44.45 millimeter opening. This is the end of the first 30-minute videotape. We at Tecumseh Products hope that you now have a better understanding of the new for 99 updates and engineering changes that have occurred over the preceding year. If you have any questions or comments, we at Tecumseh would like to hear from you. This new for 99 update video is being made available to help you understand the engineering changes that have taken place over the preceding year. This is a two-part video series. Each part consists of a 30-minute videotape. This second 30-minute videotape will cover the following topics. Emissions Service Bulletins. A new series of bulletins have been earmarked to deal specifically with emissions-related concerns. These bulletins will be designated by the 500 series classification. The headings listed on these bulletins will include Date Issued, Engine Model Concerned, Family, and DOM, Date of Manufacture Affected. The body of the bulletin will contain information concerning potential emission control system problem, affected specifications numbers, and warranty inspection and repair procedure. Bulletin 501. Some LEV 115 engines built between date codes 8091 through 8166 have the incorrect bowl nut in the carburetor. The suspect units will have the bowl nut on the carburetor stamped with the number 174. This jet should be replaced with part number 640087, which will have the number 169 stamped on it. There are 30 different specifications involved. Check the bulletin to determine if any units you may work on qualify. Bulletin 502. The following 3 model and spec numbers, H35-45690Z, H35-45726Z, and H40-55701A, with DOMs of 8079 through 8201, have been built with the incorrect carburetor. You will need to locate and identify the manufacturing number on the carburetor mounting flange. If the number on the flange is stamped with the number 5161, the unit has already been changed and no repair is necessary. If the number is 5015, you need to replace it by ordering part number 640172. This carburetor will have the manufacturing number 5161 stamped on the flange. Head gaskets are back with short blocks. Back in 1994, we removed the head gaskets from short blocks. This was done because of thickness differences between the gaskets used on older engines versus newer product. The decision has been made to standardize on the thicker gaskets on most short blocks. This will have very little effect on engine power and will make the short block procedure much simpler. The exceptions will be the medium frame, HM and TVM, 8 and 10 horsepower engines, which will include both gaskets and allow you to select dependent on its original gasket. This will be a running change as inventories are upgraded. Model number standardization. An effort is being made to standardize on the model number designations used on lightweight vertical shaft engines. In the past, this designation has bounced back and forth from horsepower to cubic inch displacement. 3 more models have been brought into the cubic inch displacement group. The VLV and OVRM series engines are adding a VLV 126, 12.6 cubic inches or 206.5 cubic centimeters, an OVRM 105, it's 10.5 cubic inches or 172 cubic centimeters, and an OVRM 120, 12 cubic inches or 196.7 cubic centimeters. Previous designations used in these models will not be affected. TC Series Carburetor Spacer Block. We repeatedly receive calls from technicians regarding TC Series engines not starting after servicing of the carburetor. During these evaluations, we usually find one of 2 things have occurred. The first is an incorrectly installed insulator block, causing the vacuum passage to not be aligned with the carburetor. The correct position is to have the impulse hole located in the spacer block facing toward the spark plug end. The transfer passage in the spacer block has to face toward the cylinder. The second is sealant or adhesive blocking the passage from previous improper service. Always check that these passages are open and use new gaskets during service. No sealant or adhesive is needed. TC emission carburetors. The TC Series carburetor has been changed to meet emission standards for EPA handheld equipment. This upgrade has been made to all service inventory for a previously built product as well. When you order a new carburetor, you will receive instructions explaining how to optimize the carburetor settings and install tamper-proof caps. Proper Transaxle Warranty Information Bulletin 124. We have been evaluating transaxle warranty claims, which we have returned to service dealers for lack of proper information. This evaluation has shown some improvements could be made to our identification tag. We have published and sent to all manual holders Bulletin 124 explaining how to locate and read this information. This information reviews both older models and the improvements made to newer ID tags. Tecumseh wants to reimburse our dealers promptly. However, we cannot without proper filing of the ESA-157R claim form. Please supply the needed information when sending in claims. Beginning this March of 1999, Tecumseh is implementing a pilot warranty return program through selected CWDs. This new procedure will return warranty claims not containing the needed information through your distributor rather than directly to you. Your distributor will work with you to obtain the needed information and answer any questions, then resubmit the claim signed by the distributor representative for prompt payment. Proper shift collar installation. We regularly receive calls from technicians regarding proper installation of the shifting key collar on transaxles. The following tips should help you during servicing. Shift collars will generally have one of several variations. If the collar has an offset on one side, the thicker side must face in toward the tips of the shift keys. If the collar has no offset, check to see if there is a recess on the inside diameter. If there is, the recess must face toward the inside. A combination of offset and recess always has both facing in. VLV Welch plugs. We have received comments from technicians regarding VLV series engines hunting or surging, running erratic, or popping at low speed. The evaluation of these units has revealed some poor sealing idle mixing chamber Welch plugs. After first checking the fuel condition, air filter, and spark plug, the engine still exhibits one of these. Then we suggest that while the engine is running, you spray the Welch plug area with WD-40 or spray carburetor cleaner. If the engine running changes, it would indicate a leak around the Welch plug requiring repair. Completely clean the Welch plug area, then reseal the plug using fingernail polish, which should eliminate the problem. If the run condition does not change when you spray the Welch plug area, further inspection will be needed. LEV engines misfiring fixed line trimmers. We have been evaluating field comments regarding LEV engines popping or misfiring out of the muffler. These particular models of LEV are used on the new fixed line trimmers applications equipped with a remote throttle stop in control. We have found some production models where the ignition ground tab on the throttle control plate was positioned very close to the blower housing, causing intermittent grounding. Should you encounter this condition, remove the extra blade from the wire terminal as shown. This is done using a side cutter to trim the extra blade away. This procedure may require the removing of the blower housing to access the speed control. HH and OH cast iron crankshaft and cam gears. In an effort to keep parts available for the OH and HH cast iron series engines, we have decided to obsolete the straight cut gears and will make available only crankshafts with helical cut gears. When using this crankshaft to repair older cast iron units equipped with straight cut crankshaft, camshafts, and governor gears, it will be necessary to order new helical cut camshaft and governor gears to match the crankshaft. When repairing the OH cast iron series engine, you will need a 34751 helical governor gear and 34752 helical camshaft gear. If you are repairing an HH series engine, order 34691 helical governor gear and 34692 helical camshaft gear. TC air gap reminder. We occasionally hear complaints of poor or hard starting on TC engines. Used on post hole diggers, ice augers, and cultivator tillers. In addition to the normal checks for fresh fuel, good spark plug, and a clean filter, check the CDI ignition module air gap. The TC series uses two different settings dependent on application and model, which affect proper ignition timing. All TC 200 and 300 rotary mowers applications use a .0125 gap, that's .317 millimeter, gap tool 670297. All other TC300 models use a gap of 0.030 inches, that's 0.762 millimeters, gap tool 670321. Miscellaneous product news. Snow product starts. There are times when dealers are confronted with customers who purchase snow equipment when the ambient temperature is above 50 degrees Fahrenheit or 10 degrees centigrade. The starting procedures at these temperatures should not require priming the engine. Therefore, we have included the number of primes needed to start the engine at different temperatures ranges in the operator's manual. This will possibly prevent the over-priming and flooding of engines at warmer temperatures and eliminate this situation. The guidelines are as follows. With the choke on and temperatures below 15 degrees Fahrenheit or -9 degrees centigrade, 3 primes. From 15 degrees Fahrenheit or -9 degrees centigrade to 50 degrees Fahrenheit, 10 degrees centigrade, 1 prime. And above 50 degrees Fahrenheit or 10 degrees centigrade, 0 primes, choke only. New Smart Start packaging. This product has been extremely popular in its inaugural year and has established itself firmly in the marketplace. This was done primarily through the counter display part number 730255. This fuel stabilizer is now available in a 3-packet bubble pack display part number 740063. This product has made fuel stabilization so easy that many customers and shop owners use it year-round, not just for off-season storage. Just 1 packet stabilizes up to 2.5 gallons or 10 liters of fresh fuel. This dry-type stabilizer dissolves rapidly and does not create a mess or stain like many liquid varieties and requires no complicated mixing formulas. VST Replacement Program Bulletin 307. We have again reviewed the issue of possible field service of the VST series transaxle. We have decided that Bulletin 307 must stay in effect for an indefinite period of time in the United States only. We would like to review some of the key issues that are driving this decision. The VST series transaxles used in this program are manufactured using the following stringent program. 1. Initial review of your warranty claim filed with the unit describing the condition. 2. Complete disassembly, cleaning, and inspection of all components. 3. Replacement of any parts not meeting original manufacturing specifications. 4. Reassembly in a clean room environment, dust and dirt-free, to original new specifications. Refilling the pump and motor side with a special synthetic oil used in the aviation industry, all air is removed through a bleeding-off process. 5. After reassembly, the unit is pressure tested, ensuring unit integrity. 6. We then load test the unit, checking axle output torque and speed on a special test machine to assure the customer of trouble-free operation. This test bench alone would cost a service center $20,000 to duplicate, adding to the complexity of field service. Microfiche updates. During the past several months, we have increased the number of microfiche cards per mailing in an effort to keep your data as current as possible. During 1998, you should have received the following card numbers: 1, 3A, 3B, 8A, 8F, 9B, 10C, 12A1, 12B, 16B, 16C, 18B, 18B1, 18B2, 24, 24A, 27A, 30, 31, 33, 35, 35A, and 35B. We have also sent out an up-to-date paper version of the index card dated 8/98 with the mechanics mailing, which began in December of 1998. Please use this card to verify that your microfiche is current. Should you have any damaged or missing cards, please send us a written request only for the needed replacements. If your registration is current, we will send you up to 2 free cards. Should your deck need more than 2, we suggest you order a new set from your distributor. Electronic parts lookup. Many of you have probably heard that ARI Network Services, owners of Plus One Parts Lookup, has purchased PowerCom. The acquisition of this company should make available additional data that you may need. Tecumseh Products Company believes very strongly in healthy competition in all aspects of our industry, which helps you keep operating costs down. This acquisition will eliminate our previous concern regarding our competition owning a company we supply our data to. We will continue to supply data to both PartSmart and Plus One. We suggest you contact both companies to determine which one fits your needs. The phone numbers are, for PartSmart, 1-800-296-8771. Plus One, 1-800-755-6040. Engine ID Bulletin 123. With the implementation of emissionized engines, we were required to change the engine identification system we used. This new system has caused many warranty claims to be rejected for lack of proper information. We have published Bulletin 123 to help you understand the needed information. Please make sure you supply the information so we can reimburse you promptly. Beginning this March of 1999, Tecumseh is implementing a pilot warranty return program through selected CWDs. This new procedure will return warranty claims not containing the needed information through your distributor rather than directly to you. Your distributor will work with you to obtain the needed information and answer any questions. Then resubmit the claim signed by the distributor representative for prompt payment. Quick Fix Carb Kit. This kit was released late this year, and we want to remind you of its availability. The part number is 632760 and can be ordered from your normal supplier. This one kit now replaces several previous kits and has been upgraded to include the idle restrictor cap. Please remember this kit does not service the Series 7 or the Vector VLV non-metallic bowl carburetors. When you service a carburetor, please order this kit and always remove and clean all Welch plug cavities before replacing them. No methanol. We have added a caution to our owner's manual regarding a zero tolerance level for any methanol blended fuel or additives. We have reviewed some carburetors returned from service and found the damage to have occurred from methanol-based fuel and/or fuel dryers. Should the customer feel they need a fuel dryer in their snow product, use only isopropyl-based dryers at the correct ratio to prevent freeze-up. Remember, if a little is good, a lot is not better. Starter Clip Bulletin 122. In spring of 1998, we issued this Bulletin 122 regarding starters not engaging principally on rotary mower product. We recently resent this to all manual holders. Should you encounter one of these situations, please order part number 590760. This kit includes a replacement disc to prevent water migration into the starter. Then file an ESA 157R claims with us if warranty applies. We at Tecumseh Products hope that you now have a better understanding of the new for 99 updates and engineering changes that have occurred over the preceding year. If you have any questions or comments, we at Tecumseh would like to hear from you.